an army general, because he's actually commanded himself, he's actually taken control of himself, can actually command his soldiers. Why would a soldier even listen to a general who's actually not sincere, who's actually not firm in his actions, in his decisions, right?
Shorty fell in love, now she doing all my drugs. Yeah, I'm ballin' in the club like lil' mama in my eyesight. She go home with me tonight, we connect like Wi-Fi. Yeah, on the table.
Welcome to the Chutney Show, and here with us Akshat Bahuguna. He is a startup enthusiast, and yeah, he's planning to have it. And man, he's one of the amazing guys I have met so far. He's into spirituality and wisdom. And I would like to let know of that wisdom, and I guess you give an intro of yourself. Like, it would be amazing.
So basically, the name, as Agniva is told, I'm Akshat Bahuguna. I'm from Land of the Hills, that is Uttarakhand, Dehradun city. And the thing being that I'm a startup enthusiast. I've been into some of the startups. I've actually helped my friends, some of the professionals who actually work with their startups. I've got the opportunity to work with their startups. And the thing is, now I've been working on, for the past 1 year, I've been working on myself in terms of wisdom, spirituality, personal development, and growth. And the thing being, I really love talking to people like one of your hosts, Agneva. I really love talking to these people. They're amazing, man. You're amazing.
Thanks, man. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
By the way, can you just tell us how your journey started?
Basically, I started my journey it's been like when I was in 8th. It's about 5 years now. I started reading about things. One fine day, I don't know what happened, I started developing the sense of curiosity in business, and I saw one of the buildings, and that emerged a sense of curiosity about businesses in me. So I started reading about it. I started following those pages of motivation, those motivational pages. And I started reading about things. I started researching. I started reading about stock market and real estate and things. And as I progressed, I started finding a passion into it. I discovered myself thing that now I was going to be in it for lifelong. And so I started picking up, I started promoting some of my friends' businesses, whatever I could. I kept on texting people who had their businesses, their new businesses, and I started working with them any way I could. I've worked with fintech members. I've actually worked with investors, and some of them have actually been trying to launch their startups. They're still into things, but they've got really good startups, and they're actually planning to launch it in 2021. They were about to launch it in 2020, but as you know, the COVID hit really hard, so some of the offers are really banned. So that's the thing.
For example, I'm really into startup, and I have been for the past 2 years, right? And I would like to take some advice from you personally, like how do I meet other people who are already into this investment?
How to connect with people?
Okay, so connecting with people. So basically, connecting with people these days, bro, you've got a lot of options to actually connect with people. Like one of my knowns, as Agniva know, one of my knowns, he's actually started a startup named Entlin. He's actually providing the youth an opportunity to actually build their startups. He's actually teaching people, and then you can also actually connect with people of your niche. Like if you've been wanting a tech developer for your company, your software, your startup, so you can actually go out. There's a completely different section. You can actually find these people on Avalon, Discord. You keep on joining various types of groups. The thing is the same mentality that you're having, that you want people. How do you actually connect with people? There are thousands of entrepreneurs in the market who actually want to connect with you, and there are a couple of sites. You actually have to find them. You've actually some of the sites being like, I find him on Avalon, and we're more like brothers now. We've actually connected well. So when you're actually looking for people, there are a lot of sites, and just accept the fact that there are people like you who are looking for you, and they want to connect with you, because we're all trying to build something that is of value.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So man, actually every entrepreneur have their definition of entrepreneurship. Like to a person to person, it depends on what they think of what entrepreneurship is. So what's your definition in that fact?
So the definition of entrepreneurship, as you said, the definition of entrepreneurship differs from person to person. According to me, entrepreneurship is a matter of service to humanity. It's basically a service to mankind. People have got definitions of entrepreneurship that it offers a lot of fortune, riches, lifestyles, and things. But the thing is that these are all a byproduct of entrepreneurship. These everything, every fortune, everything, every sort of riches are a byproduct of entrepreneurship. The thing is that entrepreneurship is basically a service, a wizard, a magic to humanity that can actually change lives, that can actually revolutionize life. For example, before Henry Ford, people were actually fine traveling on bullock carts and things. They were absolutely completely okay with walking for long distances. But the thing is that that person actually revolutionized the thing. He made lives easier. He provided a service to humanity that made their lives easier. So according to me, entrepreneurship is basically a service that can actually change your lives in a way that you won't even imagine that could have happened. The thing is, and entrepreneurship is basically not just a matter of needs. It can also create a sense of fancies and wants. Like you say that people were completely fine wearing watches that showed them time. They were completely fine wearing 100 to 100 rupees watches. But when Rolex came, they provided a sense of superiority in the minds of youth or whatever person or the business. It was not just a mark of watch or watching time. It was a mark of superiority, elegance, and that is the thing that entrepreneurship has created a sense of want. Though it is a service that can actually motivate a person to work hard for the day. A service being that now every person is working hard so that one day he may drive a Lambo, or drive a Rolls Royce, or wear a Rolex watch. So in some or the other way, it is actually motivating the person to actually go for it. This is the kind of service in the form of motivation or inspiration that entrepreneurship has the power to give to people.
Cool man, cool. Amazing. That's crazy.
Yeah,
So,
but and how do
Brother, it's not the fact that entrepreneurship has always has to be profitable. There are millions of right. They've been inspired. They've been actually jumped in the very fact that they wanted to serve people, and they were not driven by a sense. But that's completely okay. I believe that everything that makes a person happy is completely okay. अगर कोई freelancer भी खुद को entrepreneur, everything that a person, maybe he be a marketer or a freelancer or a service provider, if he's calling himself an entrepreneur, people are very cool, like, why is he calling himself an entrepreneur? This is not even an entrepreneurship. But the thing is, if
एक होता है, उसका एक परफेक्ट जॉब होता है, तो जस्ट लाइक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में ऐसा कुछ क्यों नहीं है कि एंटरप्रेन्योर सिर्फ वही बंदा है जो बिजनेस चला सकता है, प्रॉफिटेबल हो. अगर फ्रीलांसर भी अपने आप को एंटरप्रेन्योर बोल रहा है, तो फिर मैं भी अपने आप को प्रेसिडेंट बोल दूंगा. सो इट डजंट सीम्स गुड.
brother, that's completely a matter of opinions. Like that's completely a matter of thought. Like even like I said, that people right or wrong, we can't judge it because that is completely our opinion. These are a matter of thoughts. These are a matter of opinions, and they can't be classified into something right or wrong because those people are finding happiness. They're finding satisfaction that is motivating themselves to develop their craft for the very fact that they've been called as entrepreneurs. If I tell that it is wrong, and if you may say that it is wrong, that is completely a matter of our opinions, and that will be completely a matter of their opinion. So we can't even judge them. Like, that's completely okay, bro.
Yeah, different things.
cool man. So man, I want to ask about, like, you are into interpersonal skills and stuff, like those who can better your personality, your skills over every other aspects of the life. So how does this interpersonal the like leadership, maybe like as a wise person, how does it affect your career over entrepreneurship or business?
Bro, Talking about interpersonal skills according to me is nothing more than allowing the other person to connect with you. Like most people believe that interpersonal skills are more like you can communicate well, you can listen well, you can actually talk well. It's leadership is all a matter that how your inferiors can connect with you. Like for example, I've been reading a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Many of you would
Yeah,
have
yeah.
read it.
I've read it. I've read that.
I have
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Awesome book. I read it in
So
Hindi.
in that, you must have read that these skills are a matter of connecting with people. Like the more you allow the other person to connect with you, the more you allow the other person to actually present his true image in front of you, the more profitable and the more growth you'll embrace as a leader, right? There are a lot of people that talk to brag a lot about themselves that I'm this and that without even considering what the other person has to tell. But when you're into the game of business, when you're into the game of entrepreneurship, the thing is that you actually have to connect well with the other person. You actually have to let the person feel like it is home. He can actually talk his heart out in front of you, right? If
Absolutely.
you are in some sort of problem, if you're in some sort of depression or anxiety disorders, whatever it is, and if you say that Akshat, I want to talk to you, bro, I'm a bit down. So the thing is, leadership is that you actually allow the person to connect with you. You actually allow the person to find his solution in you, like right. So interpersonal skills are more about how well you connect with the person, how well you provide the solution to their problems, not just the fact that you actually go on telling, you actually go on dumping those facts. Okay. The thing is, okay, that Agnev is telling me, okay, bro, I've had some sort of disorder. I've had a bad day, and I'm not able to get over it. And I'm telling him, okay, bro, never mind. Let it be. Stop thinking about it. So that's a matter of fact, right? But interpersonal skills, on the other hand, allows you to connect with the person. Okay, Abhinava, tell me what is it. Tell me how can we actually find a solution to that problem. Tell me how can we actually let you get out of this. So entrepreneurship and leadership are more of how well you can actually connect with your customers, how well you can actually provide the solution to their problems, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And one more question means
Yes.
nowadays अभी होता क्या है कि ये कहा जाता है कि इंग्लिश सीखना एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का मीन्स एक वो है, गोल्डन रूल है. ओके, बट चाइना में ऐसा नहीं होता है. चाइना में होता क्या है कि जितने भी लोग हैं उनके पास लीडरशिप होता है बट उनको इंग्लिश नहीं आता. वो अपने साथ एक ट्रांसलेटर लेके घूमते हैं और ये हर जगह होता है. जो भी चाइनीज इन्वेस्टर आता है वो अपने साथ एक ट्रांसलेटर लेकर आता है. सो वी कैन ऑल्सो ट्राई दिस कि हम हमेशा हिंदी में बात करें और अपने साथ एक ट्रांसलेटर रखे रहे ताकि आगे जाके अपनी कम्युनिकेशन वो कर सकते हैं जस्ट लाइक चाइना कर रहा है. सो मींस आई वांट योर ओपिनियन.
Bro, the thing is that it's a matter of fact कि आप किस चीज में क्या ओपिनियन बना रहे हैं, right? अब लोग कहते हैं कि entrepreneurship, like speaking that English is a mark of intelligence, that people of India are,
The
or any
society,
other
the society evolved in that way, right? That's also human society.
हाँ, कि English is a mark of intelligence. If a person doesn't know English, he's kind of foolish, he's not well educated or something like that. But people need to understand that the language that the nation has is the pride of them. अगर हम इंडियंस होके ये बात कहते हैं कि इंग्लिश इज अ मार्क ऑफ इंटेलिजेंस एंड हिंदी हमारे लिए उतना सुपीरियर नहीं है, तो सम और द अदर वे वी आर नॉट actually coming up with the thing that we are not able to come up with the respect that Hindi deserves, right? So the thing is, even Ratan Tata has said that I'm not ashamed of speaking and I'm not ashamed of connecting on the stage with thousands of people, and I'm not ashamed of talking in Hindi because that is the pride of my nation. I belong to this nation. This is my land. एंड अगर मैं इस ओपिनियन में, अगर मैं सिर्फ इस सोच से चलता हूँ कि कोई चीज मेरे को मेरी अपनी मातृभाषा से हटाकर उसको इंटेलिजेंस बोलने के लिए मजबूर करती है, तो दैट इज माय फेलियर एज अ रेजिडेंट ऑफ माय नेशन, एज अ बिलोंगिंग ऑफ माय नेशन. सो अंडरस्टैंड दैट no matter what people say, you should always support the right, because Hindi is a pride. Hindi is a pride, Sanskrit is a pride, Bengali is the pride, Punjabi is a pride, because there are languages. They're not sort of intelligence. अब हाँ.
I have to say something on that point. Man, just look at if you talk about our country, India, it's not 29 states, it's 29 other countries collaborated to form a single country, right? It's actually Bengal, Punjab, Odisha, yeah. So man, the main fact is when we collaborate two person, like I'm a Bengali and maybe I marry a girl who is Punjabi, right? But when we collaborate, the sector or the language that is gonna form between us is gonna be in English, because actually we both understand English. And as we mutually both understand English, it becomes an alienated concept that we will speak in our own language or teach our kid our own language. Rather than Punjabi or Bengali, he's gonna learn about English more than those languages. So as a foreign substance coming into our society or the culture, what do you think about that fact?
Bro, the thing is key, like you said, that if you marry a Punjabi girl and you have kids and you want them to be very much compatible, like you would want them to be more firm to Bengali, or she'd want them more firm to Punjabi. I believe that Punjabi and Bengali should be balanced together, right? You should have the sense of pride, not a sense of division.
No man, I'm not talking about debate. In fact, I'm talking about the child's point of view. I mean, as his father is a Bengali and his mother is an Punjabi. So as in my opinion, I mean, dude, see, the thing happened is Hyderabad, like biryani. It's not like made in India. I think it came from outside. I don't remember the place. When you in Bengali, it's March Bhat. In Chhattisgarh, there is maybe aloo ka paratha or anything. जब collaborate करते हैं, then we eat biryani and foreign substance, right? So जो concept हो रहा है, like the concept is becoming diluted, and as the culture it is becoming diluted on that point, because foreign substance are coming inside of our boundary. And people are giving privilege to that foreign substance rather than giving privilege to my own or his, as it's mutual in fact.
More privilege to the foreign substances, like may it be food items or dresses or things. I believe that this is completely a matter of opinion, right? Like you might think this way, I have never thought this way. Your friend might have not thought this way, or the people other than you, they may be thinking this way and they may be not. So I believe that this is completely a matter of opinion. But apart from every opinion, every differences, like foreign or everything, but I consider that we should try balancing everything, right? Even if it is Western or any type of culture that we are intruding, that is actually coming up in India, that is actually coming up and actually creating a sense of foreign product or anything else. I think that everything should be kept in balance with each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, in most cases, like for example, I like to think that as children, every one of us is born scientists, right? Like as a kid, we're all curious, like how the world is working. But as we age, either by society or by our own thoughts, we suppress that curiosity, right? So I don't think that none of that really matters at the end, you know, like the idea, the curiosity is what drove mankind out of those caves, right? And now we are here.
Rocket science, going to other planets.
Yeah, going to other planets. So I don't think that any of that really matters, right? All that matters in the end is the curiosity to know more how this world is working, right?
Let me interpret that his version.
Yeah.
He was saying that as a child, as a newborn baby, the curiosity is implemented in us from the universe. The talent or the skill of curiosity that's implemented in us, in our brain, as this curiosity drove our mankind from those caves to now going into moon or Mars maybe in the next 2 years. So but the society nowadays it's redeeming down that curious point, and rather than focusing on something that's in the box. Like बचपन से यार सुने आ रहे हैं क्या, बेटा अगर ये काम तुम like कुछ दिमाग लगाया है, बेटा ये काम अगर तुम पढ़ाई में लगा लेते तुम टॉप बन जाते आज. Like we all came across this kind of sentences. Huh?
Absolutely.
So यार जो होता है ना, it kills the curiosity. And yeah man, so what do you suggest about this fact?
As he said and as you said, curiosity is actually the core of everything. Like I completely understand that society nowadays, they're more focused on willing their children to actually study, get good grades, get to college and get a fine job, whatever, and spend their life. But actually people should understand this thing, that if curiosity won't have been there, they wouldn't have those privileges that they're enjoying right now. Curiosity, as you say, that the universe exhibited the curiosity, a sense of curiosity, and I believe that it is a very wrong point to actually kill a curiosity just because of the fact that you are not understanding something. The society is not understanding that curiosity is actually the base of every big invention or whatever it was. Like people never understood Edison, or people never understood Andrew Carnegie, or whosoever, every great personality. But I believe that there should be a sense of awareness, and it's the responsibility of we, the youth, to actually clear out the sense from the minds of society, but by actually developing, by actually blooming, by interacting with curious people and actually creating those inventions that will actually change the minds of society. Because now we can do about anything about the problem. The society is like this, but all we can do is, as youth, as youngsters, we have to provide solution. I completely agree to your point, bro, that society is somehow killing the sense of curiosity.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So let me ask.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
Entrepreneurship is not for normal minds. We have an extraordinary mind to achieve that thing. So वो extraordinary mind हम कैसे लाएंगे, क्योंकि सभी एक नॉर्मल माइंड के साथ ही जन्म लेते हैं, और जैसे कि सबके हैबिट्स उनको डिसाइड करते हैं ना, कि अगर ये मेडिटेशन करता है तो मीन्स माइंड थोड़ा वेल डेवलप्ड होगा, राइट. तो ऐसा कौन सा फैक्टर्स है जिससे अपने माइंड को मीन्स वो कर सकते हैं, उस लेवल तक ले जा सके, जो एक
how to develop God personality in the sense. How to develop God personality.
Yeah.
Bro, I cannot tell you how a God personality.
I mean that's idiom by the way. That's idiom by the way.
Near to.
That's idiom. Yeah, man.
Okay. Right. So I was coming to it that no person can actually achieve that sense of perfection or that sense of spirituality to that fine level that we can actually have that God. I'm actually watching God in front of me. God is coming to me and all. But the thing is, when you're actually coming, when you're actually wanting, when you're actually willing to get that $5 billion company, you should actually invest your time with people and learning from people who've actually achieved this. Because I read it somewhere that every fine personality who's ever lived, his was a matter of his habits, right? He's actually created his sense of habits and he's actually invested his time. I tell you a short story that Dhirubhai Ambani got 200 rupees as his monthly salary, and he'd always go to a 5-star hotel and drink a 200 rupee tea. And people, his knowns, his acquaintances would call him mad that, oh, okay, you've got 200 rupees and you're going and drinking 200 rupees tea. But his words were that I don't go to the 5-star hotel for drinking the 200 rupee tea. I go there to understand, to actually listen to the people who are actually conversing there, who can actually afford to eat there or have a fine meal there. So every great personality, may it be a matter of curiosity, inventions, or every great personality who's ever lived, he's actually made a decision, he's actually come up with a decision, actually change his habits. He was more into reading books than partying, and he was more investing his times like you find people. He was actually more into investing time with such curious and upcoming minds like you people. And that was his decision that actually changed his life, because you are a matter of your surroundings, you are a byproduct of your surroundings, whoever the people. If all four of you actually go out and you actually start connecting with people who are always drunk, who are always smoking, who are always, so as a matter of 2 months, in a matter of 2 months, you'll all end up being smokers and drinkers, right? On the other hand, if every one of you start investing your time reading books, actually connecting with mentors, actually start watching seminars, attending webinars, and you actually join groups like communities and whatsoever, in a matter of 2 months, you'll actually see that sense of curiosity and leadership develop within you, because you've actually adapted those habits.
Yeah, man. So I got a curious question about that. The mentor as the fact came around. Man, there are fake mentor all over the system. I mean, charging from 10,000 rupees to like lakhs of rupees. What is your viewpoint on that mentorship? And and as you've been into mentored by some cool industry guys, how do you find a mentor on the first hand? How do you find?
Bro, the only thing about finding the right mentor and connecting with the right leaders is that the right leaders will never show you shortcut towards success. All the fake gurus and mentors over the internet, they'll always have one thing in common. They'll actually tell you, okay. So in a matter of 6 months, you'll have $1 million business. You'll have hundreds and thousands of grants growing out of your business in a matter of just 1 year or 2 years. But the thing that people should understand is that a person who's actually achieved big in his life, who's actually made it big in his life, who's actually running a fine business, and who's actually impacting lives in a positive way, like Gary Vee and Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone, they'd actually never tell you that you can actually build a business in a matter of 2 months. Fake gurus and mentors, there are thousands and millions of fake gurus that actually rent some Lambo and rent some Rolls Royce, and they tell you, okay, I made this in a matter of 6 months, and I made this in a matter of 2 months,
and you can make it
do this too. Just you can make it. And the people who actually connect to these people are the people who never succeed in life, because they're actually looking for shortcuts towards success. They're actually looking for the sense of shortcuts. They just want to escape the step. Like Agniva was on call with me last night. We have one of my friends. His name is Revo Lekak. He's a rapper from our city. So he told us he's actually inhibited a very important point, that you can't escape the steps. People just want to copy. There's a sense of duality. There's no sense of individuality in people. They just want to copy other people. They want to make it big, but the sense is that you can't actually escape the steps, right? If the first step is that you have to develop a curiosity, it has to be done. The second step, if you have to take the decision to start, it has to be taken. The thing is that people are very prone, okay, let me find some shortcuts. This $1,000 course will actually help me build $1 million business in a matter of 2 months because the guy is telling me. So that's the kind of people who never succeed, because they're actually looking for shortcuts. And entrepreneurship and business building or leadership and connecting with people is never a matter of shortcuts.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely.
And one more
Man, so how do you find mentors in real life? Like, you had been mentored by some business professionals. I mean, I've seen mentor charging how do you find mentors that actually teaches you, actually gives you value about things? How do you connect?
Perfect mentor.
Actually, the thing is, you saying something?
No, I just cringed that perfect mentor.
Okay. So the perfect mentor, the thing is, the mentors, like Agniva, you said, the mentors have been costing a lot. That's completely not the case every time. I tell you, it's a case, but it's not the case all the time. The only way to find the right mentor is actually look up to someone who's actually achieved in life, who's actually been more into services than making profits. Like when I found my first mentor, I knew the very basis, like I read it somewhere, that the very basis for entrepreneurship or business building is that you have to groom yourself like an entrepreneur. You have to develop those habits. So I researched a lot. That who were the very fine professionals in the game who've actually impacted lives for personal development. And one fine name came on my screen every single time, and that was Robin Sharma. So I made him my mentor. I started learning from him. So when you're actually finding some mentor, when you're actually willing someone to be your mentor, research a lot. If you you go onto Google, you want that okay, who's the most profound mentor for business building or marketing. You find a name. You actually start researching a lot. You actually start watching a lot of videos and attending a lot of seminars that the person has delivered. And if you can find value in that very fine person, make him your mentor. Don't be too quick to judge by very fact that okay, this mentor, he's actually made grants and grants. Learn about the services he's rendered and the level and the number of lives he's impacted.
Cool, man. So as your viewpoint, I mean, if you are not physically in touch with your mentor, then it's fine. It's fine not to be physically in touch with your mentor. Absolutely fine. Yeah, man.
Yes.
एंड वन मोर क्वेश्चन कि जैसे कि ओके वेल एंड गुड मीन्स हम रिसर्च कर लेंगे मेंटोर के बारे में, बट दे आर नॉट द एक्चुअल मेंटोर्स. वो लोग बिलियनियर नहीं है, पर बात ऐसा करते हैं कि हम तुमको बिलियनियर बना देंगे. वो खुद बिलियनियर नहीं है. इवन इफ जो लोग बिलियनियर है वो ये चीज़ बताते नहीं है. सो उस चीज़ से कैसे टैकल किया जाए कि जो सही में कुछ उखाड़ चुके हैं, कुछ वो कर चुके हैं, वो अपना सीक्रेट बताते नहीं है. और जो कुछ उखाड़े नहीं, वो लोग बस बात करते रहते हैं, मैं तुमको बिलियनियर बना दूंगा. जस्ट लाइक मैं कुछ कहना नहीं चाहता, बट जस्ट लाइक राहुल भट्टाचार्य काफी अच्छा स्पीकर है, बट वो खुद बिलियनियर नहीं है. नहीं है. ओके, ही इज अ मिलियनियर बट ही इज नॉट अ बिलियनियर. और बात करता है कि मैं तुम्हें बिलियनियर बना दूंगा. जस्ट लाइक गैरी वी, ही इज नियर टू बिलियनियर बट ही इज आल्सो नॉट अ बिलियनियर. ओके, और जस्ट लाइक जेफ बेजोस को ले लो, वो $200 बिलियन का मालिक है, बट वो नहीं बताता. ओके, सो मींस इस सिचुएशन को कैसे टैकल किया जाए?
So, bro, the thing is that whosoever, like you said, Gary, ठीक है. अब जब आप बिलिंग पे जा रहे हैं, when you're actually targeting that billing, break it into small steps, right? अगर if you're valuing that 1 billion thing, so it has 1,000 millions, right? So first target the first 100 million, okay, and learn from someone who's actually made that 100 million. Learn, like where people are very absolute to targeting 1 billion at a very immediate effect that they forget the steps. If Gary Vee is telling you, obviously don't very finally resort to a person who's actually not a billionaire and telling you that I will make you a billionaire, because अगर उसके पास इतनी knowledge होती, उसके पास इतने connections होते, तो आज खुद billionaire होता. So, but the thing is, if you find value in some of the person, if you say that I am finding value in Gary Vee and he's worth $200 million, so first initially start learning from Gary Vee to how to make first $200 million. Okay, when you've actually reached that stage, now turn up to someone who's actually bigger, and by the time you've actually made $200 million, you would actually have made the connections. You've actually known the fine person who can actually help you make $1 billion.
But how can you find?
Don't be very immediate. Don't be very.
क्योंकि वो तो बताएंगे नहीं. जो रियली बिलियनियर बन चुके हैं, उनके पास इन चीज के टाइम नहीं होता है. मैं आज तक जब उसका एक ही स्पीच नहीं सुना हूँ. मेरा एक दोस्त मेरे को एक चीज बोला था कि ना, जो तू बोल रहा है ना, इंग्लिश कम्युनिकेशन से घंटा ऐसा कुछ होता है. कभी सुना है रतन टाटा को स्पीच देते हुए? देन आई बिकेम स्पीचलेस. कि हाँ यार, मैं तो कभी सुना नहीं रतन टाटा को स्पीच देते हुए. सीरियसली, कम्युनिकेशन इंपॉर्टेंट है. आपके साथ ऐसा होता, अगर कोई आपको बोलता कभी सुना है रतन टाटा को स्पीच देते हुए, फिर भी आज अरबपति है, तो मींस इसको आप कैसे पिंच करोगे इस सिचुएशन को?
The only thing is कि रतन टाटा आज स्पीच नहीं दे रहे हैं, लेकिन उसने एक जर्नी जी है, और उस जर्नी के बारे में हम हर जगह से पढ़ सकते हैं. अगर हम वो वैल्यू, उसकी सेंस ऑफ इंटेग्रिटी, उसको एक्चुअली अडैप्ट कर सकते हैं, जो जब उसने अपनी जर्नी की स्टार्टिंग करी थी. If we can actually develop the sense of habits, if we can actually develop the sense of loneliness, that sense of क्रिएशन मेंटालिटी जो जिसका माइंडसेट रहा है थ्रू आउट दिस जर्नी, इफ वी कैन एक्चुअली अडैप्ट दैट थिंग, तो कहीं ना कहीं हम उससे वो जर्नी सीख सकते हैं. आज अगर वो स्पीचेस नहीं दे रहा है बिलियनर बन के, बिकॉज ही इज एक्चुअली टारगेटिंग समथिंग बिगर, ही इज एक्चुअली टारगेटिंग हिज सर्विसेज, ही इज एक्चुअली वांटिंग पीपल टू, हाँ, रेवोल्यूशनाइजिंग लाइफ. बट एक्चुअली रतन टाटा से हम उसकी बिगिनिंग सीख सकते हैं जिसने उसको एक्चुअली बिलियनर बनाया. और अगर वो चीज, अगर उसका 1% हम अपने अंदर भी ला सकते हैं, तो एक्चुअली दीज हैबिट्स कैन एक्चुअली बी वेरी एफिशिएंट, वेरी इफेक्टिव फॉर अस.
एब्सोल्युटली. जस्ट वही है, उन बिलियनर लोग की मनी की बात उनको बोलनी चाहिए, जो बोलते नहीं है, क्योंकि उनके पास इतना टाइम नहीं होता है. हम उनसे कैसे निकलवाएंगे वो बात? क्योंकि अगर कोई रतन टाटा के बारे में कोई आर्टिकल छाप देता है न्यूज़पेपर में, इट्स दैट रिपोर्टर्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, नॉट दैट रतन टाटास पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. इट इज लाइक कि मैं आपसे अभी 30 मिनट मिला हूं, ठीक है, मैं आपके बारे में ऑटोबायोग्राफी लिख दिया, दैट्स नॉट ट्रू, वो मेरा व्यू था. बट आपका जो ओरिजिनलिटी वो तो आपको पता है ना, और आप जब तक नहीं बोलोगे मुझे नहीं पता चलेगा.
ट्रू थिंग.
मैं कैसे निकालूं जेफ बेजोस के अंदर से वो सीक्रेट, कैसे निकालूं रतन टाटा के अंदर से वो सीक्रेट, जो जिसके लिए जो एक्चुअल रियल चीज है. दे आर नॉट द फेक थिंग्स, दे आर नॉट गैरी वी, दे आर नॉट राहुल भटनागर, दे आर द रियल थिंग्स. तो मींस कैसे निकालूं मैं वो गोल्डन चीज को?
ब्रदर, वो चीज तो मतलब उन्होंने कभी सामने से आके बोली नहीं है. तो
Man, I have to say about something in this factor.
I believe that everyone needs to find their own path, right? Like
Yeah,
how,
man.
like if you want to become a billionaire, how would you become a billionaire? You have to be curious about that, right? So I think we should all read books, the autobiographies of the people who are,
you know na, the book market is so huge. अगर तुम लाइब्रेरी में घुसोगे तो ऐसे 100 किताबें होगी जो तुमको अरबपति बनने के तरीके बता रही होगी, जिसका राइटर खुद अरबपति नहीं है.
By the way, like as we all know, as an entrepreneur has to make many sacrifices in his life, right? So what do you think are some of the most crucial sacrifices that an entrepreneur must make, or they have to make in their journey being an entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur has to make only one fine sacrifice, that is sacrificing comfort. That is actually sacrificing in sense of pride. Like most of the people, they actually are not giving up the sense of thing that I don't want to be seen at the bottom. मेरे परिवार क्या सोचेगा, या फिर मेरे लोग क्या सोचेंगे, या फिर मेरे friends क्या सोचेंगे. They can't develop the sense of mental toughness, and that is the thing that when you are into entrepreneurship, when you are into the market, you have to sacrifice that sense of respect, that fake respect that you're actually developing when you're into the game. Like most of the people, they're more into comforts. Okay, I'll start it. 2 पेज पढ़ लिए बुक्स के, सोच लिया हाँ भाई अरबपति बन गए. अब तो दो और पेज पढ़ गए, अब तो भाई जब भी उसको पार कर देंगे. That is the thing that sacrifices to a very fine level will actually make you. बहुत सारे लोग बोलते हैं okay, I can actually invest half an hour a day and I can actually make it big in life. But the thing is, as an entrepreneur, you have to make sacrifices every second. So I was there that the sacrifices that you tend to make is that you have to sacrifice every single second. बहुत सारे लोग ये बोलते हैं कि आधा घंटा sacrifice कर लिया, अब दोस्तों के साथ जाके chill कर लेते हैं, या बहुत सारी चीज होती है. But the thing is that entrepreneurship के अंदर अगर तुम हो तो कुछ मत छोड़ो, है वो तो कुछ sacrifice मत करो. But the only thing that you need to sacrifice is your sense of pride and your sense of comfort. उसको छोड़ दो. Entrepreneurship, you'll be ready for that thing.
Yeah, you have to get desanitized by the societal talks about you.
I want to add something.
Completely bro, completely. बहुत सारे लोग बहुत सारी चीजें बोलेंगे, बहुत बातें बोलेंगे. But the thing is, your sense of mission, your sense of vision should always stay in front of your eyes.
ओके, तो जस्ट हमारा दिमाग ऐसा बना हुआ है ना कि ना वो बहाना ढूंढता है कि कैसे अपने बॉडी को रेस्ट दिया जाए. ओके, तो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में क्या है कि हमको अपना कंफर्ट छोड़ना पड़ता है. मुझे पता है. ओके, वेल लो, अब मैं इसका बहाना कैसे ढूंढता हूँ? इसका बहाना ये है कि एक बार बिल गेट्स ने कहा था कि दुनिया की आलसी इंसान किसी भी काम को सबसे इजीएस्ट तरीके से कर सकता है. तो मैं फिर आलसी हो जाता हूँ. क्यों? ताकि मैं सबसे इजीएस्ट तरीका निकाल सकूँ वो काम को करने का. तो मीन्स इट इज लाइक बोथ आर इक्वल पावर. कि अगर मैं आलसीपन छोड़ दूंगा, ओके, तो मैं कुछ कर सकता हूँ. बट अगर मैं आलसी बने रहूंगा तो काम को इजीएस्ट तरीके से कर सकता हूँ. तो मीन्स हाउ आई कैन चूज कि मैं आलसी रहूं या ना रहूं?
कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन हो रहा है.
The thing is कि जो इंसान आलसी होगा, he'd actually find a way to escape the situation, right? वो बोलेगा कि कुछ ना कुछ जुगाड़ करवा के, like we've been all like me and my friends, we were never interested in completing those assignments. तो हमने वो आलसीपना के साथ हम लोगों ने उसको डिसेंट्रलाइज करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. Bill Gates' context to this very reference is that you need to find a smarter way to come up with things. ये question हमारे सामने, मतलब one of my mentor addressed this, that most people have done this, कि उन्होंने Bill Gates की ये वाली lazy वाली बात सुन के they actually turn themselves into full of comfort zone कि हाँ यार हम कुछ ना कुछ वो कर देंगे, but that can actually hamper you, because people are not understanding what he tried to say. उसने ये बोला था कि try out finding smarter and a better way to actually making things work for you. But लोग कहते हैं कि अच्छा भाई बिस्तर पे पड़े रहेंगे अपने आप, फिर कुछ ना कुछ जुगाड़ लगा देंगे and you can actually be billionaires. But that is not the case. You actually have to find a smarter way to do it.
Yeah, like I was saying that I believe that people have misinterpreted his words. Like I believe he was trying to say that you must work hard, but you must also work smart. You know, like do not take a
completely go.
Yeah.
And also like in this fact, you can see a donkey working 24/7, working every day and working hard pretty, but he's never successful. He's never successful in his life because he's just working hard rather than using its brain to some extent and making their life easier. They're just working hard.
Yes, so, completely. But the thing is that actually it defines your level of smartness and your level of how you decentralize, how you carry out your work. Because in entrepreneurship, you need to be very specific with your actions, right? If you can actually go on, if you actually go on, like I'll give you a small example. Like you have to sell something and you give 100 presentations and you have to give 100 presentations, right? If you go on one by one, it's going to cost you a lot of time and energy, right? On the other hand, if you actually prospect all of them over a Zoom session, that can actually be a smarter way to give presentation to 100 people, right? You'll save a lot of time, you'll save a lot of energy. This is how smart work works, that you actually save a lot of time and energy. You need to be very specific with smart actions and not just actually working hard and complain of not getting any sort of results.
Yeah, man. So I wanted to always implement a topic in our podcast. It's about No-Fap. So what are your views over that? Yeah.
So, according to me, No-Fap is the most important thing that a person can implement in his life, right?
Absolutely.
I tell you that I've been doing this for the past 3 months now, and I tell you the results are outstanding. I tell you that the things that I thought to be very precious, to be very outcoming 3 months back, I find no point in that right? The thing about No-Fap is that it creates a sense of plunder. It creates a sense of junk in your mind. It never allows you to actually clear out your vision, right? Like I tell you, I give it a small example, right? Consider a bank, consider semen retention is your bank, and consider each day that you do not fap as 100 rupees, right? And it is compounding each day at a rate of 10%, right? So each day that you do not fap, the savings in your bank is actually compounding, right? On the other hand, if you actually fap out, you lose the 100 rupees, right? You understood the sense of compounding. The compounding money has actually. The thing is, when you're actually in the game of business, you actually need a lot of savings in your bank. You actually need to have a lot of spirituality. You actually need to have a lot of connect with your mind, right? If you're reading a lot of books, if you're working out a lot, and at the end of the day you're fapping, it is all gone waste. It is actually all gone to waste. Because the thing is, it is the very basis for your existence. It is the energy that you carry out. 32 kgs of food make 1 drop of semen. And 1 ejaculation is actually taking out a lot of things from your body. And I tell you, No-Fap, if you've read a book called Think and Grow Rich, this is a chapter of transmutation of sex energy. And the thing is that the sex energy that you actually ejaculate, that you allow to be outletted in a very physical form, that is not very pure, that is not very considerable. The thing is that if you consider that if you retain it and if you channelize it in a creative and in an imaginative way, it can actually turn your things into wonders. I guess. You start taking small targets, 2 days, 5 days, 15 days, 21 days. At the end of 21 days, you see that your mind is full of positivity. You see your mind, you've actually developed that sense of leadership. You've actually been finding yourself communicating well, connecting well with people. You've actually have control over your mind. You're more peaceful, you're more calm. And that is the very thing, because life will offer you a lot of tough situations. Life has got a lot of hard hitting on you right now, and will offer you a lot of hard hitting. And the only thing that you have that you can actually keep up, the only upper hand that you have got, is that you actually keep your mind calm. You actually keep your mind strong and keep going. So I tell each and everyone to practice it for the first 2 days. You've actually hit that target. You actually go on for 5 days, 15 days, 21 days. And the end target is going to be at least 9 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
9 years. Yeah.
That's really cool.
I believe that most people need some serious guts to do that, right? Like it takes a lot of willpower.
Bro, greatness and business building, if you tell that if you can control your mind, if you can control yourself, how can you even expect that 1,000 people and 1,000,000 people would actually listen to you, and you can actually control them and you can actually impact them? Every great personality, may it be Vivek Bindra or any fine man in the game right now, you ask them that how long have you not fapped? They tell you probably more than 10 to 15 years now, because they know the sense of energy that your body, your mind has right now. This mental toughness comes from seeing retention and no-fap, and this will actually change your mind. If you can't even control your mind, if you can't even have that sense of command in your mind, how can you expect the other people to be commanded by you? A leader is someone who, an army general, because he's actually commanded himself, he's actually taken control of himself, can actually command his soldiers. Why would a soldier even listen to a general who's actually not sincere, who's actually not firm in his actions, in his decisions, right?
Absolutely. By the way, by your talk today, I have taken one point that you read a lot of books, right? Is that correct?
I believe I do.
So I believe that everyone has a different reading pattern, right? So, for example, in my case, I just first look at the chapter, like each and every page, and then start reading it out. And what's your way of reading a book? Like the effective
I just
way?
pick a book and I start reading it. No, actually that's just a matter of opinions. Like as you said, that everyone's got different reading patterns. So I cannot tell you to read it my way, because I do one thing. I actually pick a chapter. I actually target myself that I have got to complete these 15 or 25 pages a day. So I actually go on and I do not stop, and I start making notes of this chapter, because you read a lot, you actually implement, you actually catch a lot of things in your mind throughout the day, but you do not remember everything, right? So you actually start making notes of that chapter. Pick up small patterns that actually suit you, because people are going to tell you, okay, read it my way, but not everyone's ways suit everyone, right? So you gotta pick out your own way. You actually have to pick out the type of pattern. Like similarly, bro, if I tell you, you come up with me in some tech industry and you say, no, I'm more interested in sales. So how can you expect me and you be you following my patterns, or you being compatible to my patterns and succeeding, right? So you gotta have your own patterns. You have to actually gotta develop your own patterns, and that is the way that you actually bloom yourself in reading.
And man, one question, that your views on the startup ecosystem in India.
My views on the startup ecosystem in India, like the startup ecosystem in India, like.
I mean, if you have seen the Silicon Valley culture in America, you have seen that that's growing, and as it's mentioned everywhere, like startup place, that's Silicon Valley. How do you think the Indian startup ecosystem in the era of 2020s and afterwards will affect?
Bro, talking about Silicon Valley and the Indian ecosystem, there's actually two completely different things. Silicon Valley is actually emerged out as a house of startups. They've been actually some well-established startups that can actually turned out from them, right? So, talking about the Indian ecosystem of startups, right? We actually need to develop that sense right now. I believe that is completely my opinion, but I believe that we haven't actually we've actually not developed that thing. We've actually not developed that ecosystem till date. Actually turn up to be the next Silicon Valley or something. Like Bangalore is emerging as like the Silicon Valley of India. It's emerging as a house of startups and things. But the thing being that India do need to find out new ways. We've got to explore more things before I can actually comment on something like that right now.
Absolutely right. And the last question for this session, I mean, it's 9:02, and I guess your time is also over for now. But last question.
No problem.
Yeah, man. So, like for everyone, the definition of success is different for everyone. So, in the sense of what's your definition of success? What's your definition? That's very personal.
My definition of success is completely simple. I just don't want anyone to sleep hungry in the night. I just don't want those children who are actually begging on the street, those people who have actually lost jobs. I don't want them to be living the life they're actually living right now. I want to connect with everyone. You people may be better than me in one way or the other. In any sense, you can be better than me. I want to connect with you people. I want your support. We can actually turn up as entrepreneurs. We are actually futures of tomorrow. We are actually the futures of India. We can actually come up with and start implementing things that can actually change the lives, because you have no idea. You have food on your table, you have clothes, you have shelter, you have roof on your top, but there are people who are actually sleeping without clothes, without blankets, in this weather, in this cold weather, and they're actually shivering. They haven't got any food on table. They are actually hungry. They're actually crying. So definition of success is simple: to serve these people, to actually make a better living, to make a better world for these people. And the day we've actually created something, even God's gonna help us. God's gonna help each and every one of us, because the day we start serving and we actually imparting service to the mankind, even God will be thankful to each and every one of us, because we are all His children. And if we can help each other, that He'll be more than happy than anyone else.
Man, thank you so much for being in this podcast. I mean, such a rush of energy and such wiseness flooded all over the meeting, and that's been a great experience altogether.
I hope you liked it. Like, if any comments or anything that you would want me to,
man, no, like that's a total point of the audience. Those people
actually there are lots to talk about, but for this session, I think it's fine. Let's take one other session after some few days.
That's amazing, guys, connecting to you.
Yeah, because there are a bunch of questions. Bunch of questions which we have to ask.
Yeah, actually we made a list of like 50 plus questions, and then we had to trim it down to 10 questions.
We can actually do it. I'd be more than happy to actually address these questions, and I'd actually love connecting with all you people, because you're so fine, and you're actually so fine in your approaches. I really want to connect with you a lot. I really love you people. You've been all outstanding hosts.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So privileged in my life to actually have you all.
Thank you so much, man. You're just
If I was not a very good guest, I'm sorry about that. I'm really.
Man, you are amazing, man. You are
really
amazing.
good.
It was
really
crazy.
Good.
I mean, man.
It was really good.
It was my mind-fucking conversation with
respect, man.
Akshat Bahuguna. Kirito is this side, Gopesh Goswami, the living billionaire, and Shubham Mandal, Mr. Chutney himself. So we'll be ending the talk here, and hope you guys meet in the next show. Till then, stay safe, and the winter is coming. I mean, the second wave of COVID. Take winter seriously, and do follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and do subscribe on the YouTube channel. And never miss any update. Yeah, man. Great connecting to you. Bye. Bye, man. Like, give a high five.
Bye.
Cool, man. Cool. Chalo.
Cool.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy. Like I'll be calling you by the way. Chalo.
Thank you, bhaiya.
Stars, I'm a fool for your love.